We're back here on the John Fourcade Show, and another one of our John Fourcade specials this week, a 2016 Ford Escape, just $199 per month. Again, a 2016 Ford Escape, just $199 per month. Come on, man. Come on down to Veterans Ford. Back here on the John Fourcade Show, and John, just a wild set of games in the AFC part of the field. We saw Houston. We've talked about it all season long. The Texans, lack of a quarterback, and they just got absolutely smothered by the Chiefs, who came in all banged up and really leave all banged up now. But again, Alex Smith was the difference maker in that football game. You look at that 17 of 22, 190 yards. That's not super impressive. But if you look at the stats for the other guy, you can understand 4 interceptions he put up. So it was a big part. They got a stud tight end, though, and Travis Kelce.
Oh, there's no doubt.
He's a big-time player.
There's no doubt about it. But look, 30-0. All Kansas City had to do was open the kickoff 7-0. The game's over with. It's it. I mean, how do you go into this football game, the Houston Texans, and realize this, that you know doggone well you're living all on your defense? You got to hope your defense can get a shutout and maybe get a safety, because that quarterback, Brian Hoyer, all year long I kept saying to myself, there's no way. Texas, the Houston Texans have such a great defense with no doggone QB.
They better pick a quarterback at round one, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we get a little
this
bit further along. This game was a wild affair. John, 18-16, Steelers end up winning this game. And you know what? You and I kind of grew up in the same time frame. We saw the Raiders and the Steelers play these type of, slug out type fest. That's what you saw. It got ugly at the end of that football game, got out of hand on the Bengals' part of view. Roethlisberger hurt at the end. Burfict makes the big tackle. He gets hurt. Antonio Bryant gets knocked out cold, so to speak, at the end. 7 catches for 119 yards. And then, A.J. McCarron, who I thought played a solid game, but Cincinnati's defense, when you hold a team to 18 points, you should win those games. But at the end, you know what? When you got character guys and questionable character guys, they're going to melt down on you at the end. And we saw it with Pac-Man Jones and Burfict.
I totally agree with you. I think we get ready to watch the NFC game. Well, we'll talk about it now and then. I guess I'm getting a little feedback in my ear. You're right. That's just horrible. Look, let's be on 18-16. It was 15-0 until the guy got hurt. Ben Roethlisberger gets hurt. And then the change right there, you saw that change. A.J. became a better quarterback. Got him down the field. They scored a couple of times.
Got the ball in A.J.
Hill
Green's
ran the
hand.
ball, A.J. Green. Then he looked like the Cincinnati we thought all year long. Wow, maybe they will make a comeback and do things, but only because Ben Roethlisberger got hurt. And then it became a situation where, okay, Cincinnati recovers the interception. I'm like, okay, this game. And then these two knuckleheads run 2-3 and run out of the stadium. And the game's not over yet. You got a minute and 50-something left. And then they ran the football, then the fumble. All right, and then that's when things went crazy at the end of the football game. But that was a hit. I don't care what anybody said. That was a hit. That was illegal and late. It was above the shoulders. I don't care if it was helmet, not, whatever.
Well, the ball
it just went
10
above.
feet over his head.
Right, and that's the key. And then the situation, look, Joey Porter, I don't know if they sent you out there. Whatever you did, son, you deserve a game ball, because Pac-Man Jones, he went nuts too. So they can't be controlled. And that's the problem with Cincinnati's football club. They got a coach there that should not probably be there anymore, but they can't control these players. And these are some thuggish players playing for the Cincinnati Bengals.
You know what? And I got a lot of respect for making the playoffs 5 straight years. Now,
Yes.
you did lose 5 straight years, and Marvin Lewis has done a great job. And he's tried to rehab some players that have had issues before, not just Pac-Man, but also Burfict. Jeremy Hill, look at his situation when he was at LSU. He's taking chances on players. But you know what? All 3 of them melted down. Late in the game, that Hill doesn't fumble the football. Burfict is the star. He becomes the hero off the interception.
Well, Mike, if you watch the game, if you saw the game, Hill went berserk a couple of times. He ran on the field. He was doing some things. He got in argument.
Because of the hit on Ryan this year on the other running back.
And the running back for the fumble that was called. People thought it should have been. Look, folks, I'm going to tell you right now, that was a legit hit. He was a running back with the football. It was 2 contact. It's sort of like, and I posted this, sort of like when the Saints played the playoff game against the 49ers.
With Pierre Thomas.
When Pierre got drilled, and everybody thought the same thing. It was a legit hit. It's part of football, and an official let it go, and everybody explained to it what the situation was. But you're right. Hill, Burkett, and Jones were 3 guys. But if I'm a head coach for a football team, is it my job week in, week out to babysit these guys and put them through the tension or would it? No, that's not your job. Find better players. find better players.
You know, what was funny is they showed a shot before the final drive of Marvin Lewis in the face of Burfict, telling him, control yourself at this point, and he just couldn't do it. But that's what happens sometimes. You know what? I couldn't have seen him do that if he's being coached by Sean Payton or Bill Belichick or those type guys. He's not acting that way. I think you can kind of get away with it a little bit in Cincinnati. They've given him 1,000 chances. This guy was a first-team All-American and wasn't selected in the draft. There's a big reason why that too. And in the NFC, wow, we saw it in the kind of a frozen type situation. Man, did Seattle get lucky? Late in the game, Blair Walsh misses a field goal, 10-9. You looked at this, a couple of great catches bailed Russell Wilson out. He was just 13 of 26, 142 yards. I thought Teddy Bridgewater played a solid football game in here. He just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. The disappointment was Adrian Peterson, only 43 yards and a fumble. And man, listen, talking about a defense that even if you kick the field goal, man, how can you blame the defense? All they had done was score 12 points. Seattle's defense came to play, played a great game. The conditions certainly had an effect on the offensive side of the football.
You know, being a guy who held, and I know how it feels with kickers, and the whole scenario being the cold weather, kickers, the laces, you know, maybe he didn't turn it, maybe he did. I don't know what the situation was. It's a chip shot, should have made, but I never liked the fact that you play for a field goal to win a football game. In the circumstances they were, they didn't have much time left. They had to go to it, but man, I'm trying to score a touchdown. But you said it, Adrian Peterson did not show up in this football game.
Sure did.
All the chapping and his lip smacking all year long, I want the ball, but the fumble was crucial because Seattle got the football back and ended up having the fluke snap over Wilson's head. He turned around, made a great play on it to get him out of trouble right there. It's just a game that, in those type of conditions, that's why they are building a dome stadium up in Minnesota.
Green Bay pulled one out against Washington. That was a game we thought Washington played so well at home, played a good first half. All of a sudden, though, in the second half, the Redskins melted down 35-18. Aaron Rodgers again, he had the Superman cape on. He was 21 of 36, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cousins had his moments in that game. One thing, Green Bay, they can't cover the tight end. Jordan Reed, he went wild on them, 9 catches for 120 yards and a score. But again, John, we've talked about this all season long and doing shows not only with you but with other former quarterbacks. If you don't have a quarterback, you shot. And you look at the teams that won had the better quarterback play. If you don't have that position better than the other team, you watching. You're not playing it come playoff time.
Totally. If you look at these playoff teams and all these games that are being played, majority of them have solid quality play. The Cincinnati, they lost because they didn't have their starting quarterback. It was a tough loss there. In Houston, that situation. You know, the Bridgewater situation was the only thing that could have been different because if he makes the field goal, they win. But Green Bay with their, you know, you're right. Cousins played well enough, but not well enough to win. Green Bay got their running game back too. That helped them right there. But you got Aaron Rodgers, and this weekend you're going to have some serious quarterbacks playing in the playoffs this weekend.
That's where everything sort of equals, other than the Chiefs playing New England. The Chiefs are a beat-up football team, and I know one thing: if I'm picking, I know who to pick between Tom Brady and Alex Smith. That's not a real hard choice on that part. We'll be back with more of the John Fourcade Show, sponsored each week by Veterans Ford.